So I know that you probably don't want to talk to me anymore. My roommates and I stayed up all night. I even was praying to God, like, please just let me figure out how I can say this to her, because I was able to say it to everybody except for you, so that they could see that God wants us to be together, and they all understood that, you know, what I said I didn't mean to say, and that it makes perfect sense. All right, and then God gave it to us in a way that finally we were able to say it. I wrote it all down, and it won't take long. It's linear. I won't get off track. Just please hear me out. All I have to do is read these words and you will understand where I'm coming from, because they were given to me by God, okay? I won't bother you after this video. If after you hear it, you want to talk again, let me know. If not, I won't bother you, okay? I definitely realize that I shouldn't text you as much just because you're busy, and honestly, I just love being with you, and I would do anything to be able to, you know, spend that time together, even if it meant, you know, not being able to hear from you. So just let me explain. Yesterday we had a misunderstanding, okay? Because I didn't express myself well enough when I sent you the message that you told me you wanted to, you know, end whatever we had built to, all right? But that was only the case because you asked me to keep it short. So I didn't fully elaborate in the message that I'd sent you, and you weren't able to comprehend what it was I was saying. And then when I reread it, it was obvious and understandable why you felt the way you did. This led to you ending whatever we had over something that wasn't true. And I only say that it wasn't true because I just hadn't expressed myself properly, right? This led me to writing a song for you. Writing a song led me to recording a song for you. Okay, so while I was recording, my homegirl that sells weed she sends me a text and says, hey, I'm home now. You can go ahead and come and get this. I have proof and a timestamp from her, and I'll let you see the time that message was sent. It's proof that I was recording your track at that time, because I sent you a text that said, hey, I just recorded you something and I'm about to send it whenever I get back. While I was recording, she sent me a text and said, hey, you can come and get this now, I'm home. But for some reason, I decided to record what I had wrote for you a second time, even though the first time I recorded it was fine. Had I left right when she texted, I would have never crossed paths with the cops, who just happened to turn right behind me at the intersection as I went by them. I mean, perfect timing, right? That alone is divine intervention, because I wasn't even supposed to get him weed yesterday. I was supposed to get it for him the day before, but she just happened to leave her phone in her boyfriend's truck that night, so she couldn't get a hold of me. I was supposed to get him green the night before that as well, but she didn't get in until like 10:37, and by the time she got in, it was too late and he was in bed. Okay, so it's because I wasn't supposed to get it then. I was supposed to get it yesterday and go through everything I did so that I could see what I saw. This left me to believe that it was divine intervention because of everything that follows as well, so please just stick with me. I got pulled over. A cop comes to my window, he gets my license and insurance, goes back to his car. We're waiting there forever, then a cruiser pulls up. There's two more cops, and the cop brings me back my license and stuff. He brings me back the warning, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, thank you so much for not taking my tag, yada yada. And he's like, yeah, no problem, but he was like, we smell weed, right? Black guy with fucking dreads. He was like, we're gonna have to search the vehicle. Basically forces me out of my car, and him and these other two officers tear my car apart looking for anything they can find to try to arrest me. But there was nothing. There would be no crumbs, no roaches, no nothing in my car, because you and I, when we were first supposed to hang out, but we weren't quite yet hanging out yet, I went out and cleaned the fuck out of my car. So thanks to you, I was able to get out of that situation as well. So they ended up having to let me go, right? But luckily, I hadn't picked up anything yet. So to me, that's a blessing also to why I didn't get arrested. So after that, I got the green and everything for my homeboy with no problems. But because I was running behind, I missed my chance to chill with Will. And because of divine intervention or coincidence, some lady just happened to hit him up at the last minute so he could come survey a porch for her, which he wanted me to join him in doing so, but he didn't have directions, so he couldn't tell me how to get to Sweeten Creek. And you know, I was just late meeting him because I got pulled over. So we decided that we were just gonna get up today and come to Harris, which I don't want to ruin your night. There's no way that, you know, you want to see me. But check it out. Because I couldn't meet Will, I just stayed and smoked with my friend. It was only because I was trying to tell him the story accurately and honestly that I had even bothered with going back and rereading what I had said to you that caused you to feel understandably overwhelmed, thus ending whatever we had. And in doing so, I realized that I didn't express myself properly, and that was the reason that it was ended on false pretense. Thus, we should still be together, because none of this stuff should have happened at all. But I'm glad it did, because God showed me that we're supposed to be together through it. Please just let me explain. Although I think your response was understandable given what I said, what I said didn't accurately express what I was attempting to communicate to you. See, what I said was, and I quote, I said, I'm assuming you're busy and making sure that what I'm saying isn't important. But on the off chance you want me to back off and that makes you happy, like, you got it, just let me know. But what I meant to say was, I'm assuming that you keep checking my messages and not responding because the things I was saying weren't as important as you getting your work done. But you were checking the messages to make sure that it wasn't urgent and that I didn't need you, which I think is extremely caring and admirable. But in the off chance that you were actually checking the messages and not responding for reason like maybe you just don't like me anymore, or like you were trying to have me get the hint, just please tell me so that I don't waste any more of our time. So now I'm sure that you can see the correlation enough to know and believe me when I say that the latter is what I actually meant. As in what I just told you I meant, I'm sure that you can actually tell that that is what I meant when you compare it to what I actually said, which I believe is proof enough that we shouldn't have ended things over this. And that, I think, is proof that God wants us to be together, because of all the coincidences that caused me to get pulled over and harassed for being black guy with dreads last night are also all the same coincidences that allowed me to obtain proof that we shouldn't be ending things over what I had poorly miscommunicated. I also think that is proof that God wants us to be together, because me getting pulled over isn't just the reason why I was able to explain all of this in a way that you can see proof that I didn't mean what you thought I did when you decided to end whatever it was that we had. But I also think there's proof that God wants us to be together in me getting pulled over and harassed, because it ends up being the perfect example of what I was trying to ask when I sent you the message that ended up being what I didn't mean. It ended up being the perfect example of what I was trying to ask you when I said, I'm assuming you're checking my messages to make sure that what I'm saying isn't important. As in, you would have responded had it been an emergency or something important. Just like you did whenever you said, I'm sorry you got pulled over. I know that isn't anything anybody wants to go through. That is exact proof of what I was trying to express in my message, but poorly did. I was trying to say if something like that happened, I'm sure you would respond. But since it's not like that, you're just going ahead and working anyway. So so it's confirmation to me that you were indeed checking my messages and not responding because they just weren't important as your work, which I agree with that. Definitely go to your work over my play. I was nowhere near upset about it. Nowhere at any of this time have I been upset during any of it. I've just been trying to express to you that's not what I meant. And then last night all this happened and I got excited and sent you a million messages because God was showing me that you just got pulled over because you fucked up earlier. But since you fucked up earlier, I am going to cause something to happen to give you proof, and I'm going to save your ass one last time so that you can get it through your head that you just need to shut the fuck up and only talk briefly, and when you talk briefly, none of this stuff happens. But since you did it, I'm going to give you some proof. Okay, so he did that for me. What's funny is I was trying to ask if you were checking all my messages to make sure nothing bad had happened, and you just weren't responding because nothing bad had happened. But I had said it in a way that not only made you end whatever it was that we had, it also made it to where when something bad did happen, I didn't have you there because I fucked up. And you can tell what I said is actually a revised version of what I meant. And when I read to you what I meant, I'm sure you saw that that would have been a lot longer of a message, and that in itself could also would have been overwhelming, but it was sweet. I could tell that you were being, well, I don't know if you were being sweet or not. Maybe you were ignoring me, but to me it felt like you were being sweet. And the proof to my idea of you are checking the messages just to check on me seemed to be validated whenever you did respond to me getting pulled over by the cop. So, that's all I really have. I've got to go meet my grandma, detail the car real quick, get this money. I'm going to edit this video. I'm going to put it on YouTube unlisted. That way no one can find it unless they have the URL, because it's going to be big. I don't know how else to send it to you. And I'll just leave you alone until you talk to me. So I'm going to try to let that be proof to you that I am willing to let you do your thing. I know you're at work at Harris and everything. I'm going to send you the video so that you can know that God wants us to be together. And in the meantime, while you wait to watch the video, I just won't bother you and try to prove to you that I get it. Just please don't fucking do this. All this was just a misunderstanding. I care about you so much. If I didn't care about you so much, my roommates wouldn't have stayed up all night with me to try to help you see what I helped them see last night. And I apologize for my chapped lips. Must not have been fun kissing them. I had some Carmex and stuff, and now, but it probably won't matter now. You take care.
You're the one. I know it, and I worked my whole life just to show it. Even though you said it's over, you a drug and I'm addicted, and I'll die if I'm sober. Too many coincidences just to finish when we both know that there's a line that needs hitting. I don't plan on quitting till I cross it. Don't care what the cost is. Took my shell and softened it. Forest green eyes I got lost in quick. And I'ma need saving from myself. Lately I'm living in hell. Gotta learn the hard way, like cracking nuts on the rail. Or blue balls from too long of having been felt with no release. Can't believe that I found a lily planted in this island of weeds. I'm just trying to see, blinded by the darkness of my past, where my subconscious will feed when I let it. Just needed to regret it enough, and now I do. But comparably, this the worst thing that I'll ever put you through. Please see the benefit. Now that we're through it, all I've got is patience for you, baby, and I'm never gonna lose it. You can know that I've released it, now that it is in my music. Please forgive me, and I'll never let you down from here on out. If it won't make you happy, I won't speak it or even think it. I can silence my mind state if it means it's a chance to embrace you when you see it. I'm gonna love you.